Good morning everyone. This is Raghu, Assistant Professor of Biotechnology from SRN BGNR Government College, Khammam. So today's topic is gene transfer techniques. That means how you will transfer your foreign DNA into the bacterial, plant and animal cells, and what are the methods that are used for the transfer of these transgenes into bacterial, plant and animal cells, that we will discuss today. So these are the various methods that are used for introducing your foreign DNA or transgene into bacterial, plant and animal cells. There are two major methods. One is direct method and other one is indirect method or biological method. So indirect method means directly a vector containing foreign DNA is introduced into the plant, bacterial or animal cell with the help of a gene gun or a chemical or a liposome, or by means of microinjection or by electricity passing, that is by method of electroporation, or by using sound waves or ultrasonication. By these methods you can transfer your vector containing foreign DNA or transgene into your host cell. So that is direct method. Sometimes the transgene construct can be directly introduced by these direct methods without construction of a vector. Then it is called as vectorless gene transfer or direct method. In biological method, you use a vector and a transferring agent. So best example is TI plasmid, a vector, and the transferring agent Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So since it is infecting the plant cell biologically, hence it is called as a biological method of gene transfer. So these are the two different kinds of gene transfer methods. So the first one is microinjection, which is introduced by Marshall Barber. So it is a physical technique of transforming the host cells. So it is a direct transformation of both plant and animal cells. Use of micro manipulators and syringes is seen in this particular microinjection. So the transgene is injected into the target host cell with the help of micro manipulators like suction of a pipette and a micro syringe. A micro syringe containing a small needle of 0.5 micrometer to 5 micrometer. So this is how microinjection is carried out. You can see the host cell. So the host cell contains the nucleus. So the host cell is holded with the help of a holding pipette. So that is suction of a pipette at the tip of micropipette. You can hold the host cell. With the help of microinjection needle, the foreign DNA is introduced into the nucleus. So this is how you will introduce your foreign DNA into the nucleus of the host cell with the help of microinjection needle and holding with a suction pipette. So this is the principal method that is involved in the process of microinjection. And most probably the process of microinjection is especially used for the animal cells. So you can clearly see the process of microinjection and introduction of transgene in the blastocyst of the mice embryo. You can clearly see the images here. So you can see the blastocyst. So you can see the pipette suction holding the blastocyst, and with the help of a fine syringe needle, you can introduce your transgene into the blastocyst. So there are different cellular stage blastocysts like 4 cell, 8 cell stage. You can introduce at single cell stage, 4 cell stage, and 8 cell stage also. So just holding the stage of the blastocyst with the suction of the pipette and use of microsyringe needle for the introduction of your transgene. So in the last class we have seen the scorable markers like green fluorescent proteins which are tagged at the end of your transgene. So if your transgene is expressed, then GFP is also expressed. The amount of fluorescence indicates the amount of transgene expression. So here after transformation you can select the transformed cells with the help of this scorable markers. So you can clearly see the GFP that is expressing. So after developing the blastocyst to 4 to 8 cell stage or morula stage, you can clearly see the green spots, that is expression of your transgene along with GFP protein. So that can be collected. So and then this blastocyst can be used for developing the transgenic mice. So you can see the transgenic mice expressing the transgene. At the left bottom you can see the mice expressing the transgene, how they look. So you can collect either embryonic stem cells and introduce your transgene into embryonic stem cells and introduce that embryonic stem cells into the blastocyst, where from blastocyst 4 cell, 8 celled stages finally the embryo will develop. So this is how microinjection is used for the development of transgenic animals, and how you introduce your transgene into the host cell with the help of microinjection. So the next one is particle bombardment biolistics method. So this particular method is widely used for the plant cells. So here there will be a gene gun loaded with gold particles coated with your transgene. So the gene gun is loaded with gold particles coated with your transgene, and this gun is used to introduce the gold particles containing transgene into the plant cells. So after loading the biologistic gene gun with your gold particles containing transgene, you can use either pressure or high electricity to bombard these particles into your target or host cells. So you can clearly see in the picture a disc containing the callus is placed here, and a gene gun under vacuum conditions is used, which is loaded with DNA, gold particles with DNA, and now this gene gun is bombarded such that the gold particles containing transgene will be introduced into the callus of the disc. So this is how you transfer your transgene into the callus by using biolistics gene gun method. So this is how you use gene gun for the transformation of plants. So this is a gene gun from Biorad, where it is loaded with gold particles coated with your transgene, and now the gene gun is triggered directly onto the leaves, where your transgene will be introduced into the chloroplast or the genome of the plant where it is expressed. So this is how you introduce your transgene by biolistics or gene gun method. You can also use pollen grains in this particular method. So this is how you use the pollen grains for bombardment. So the pollen grains are collected and stored on dry ice. After storing, after washing with 13% sucrose solution for 10 minutes, the pollen grains are used for bombardment. After bombarding, they are incubated again in 10% sucrose for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, they are introduced into the female plant and the seeds are allowed to germinate. After 30 days, establishment of seedlings in greenhouse, and after 60 days of screen for transformation, you can obtain the transgenic plants. So this is how you use the pollen grains, and the pollen grains for the process of transgene transfer by biolistics or gene gun method. So the next method of gene transfer in bacterial cells is calcium chloride mediated gene transfer. Calcium chloride is a solution which play an important role in opening the pores on the plasma membrane. So what you have to do is, the E. coli cells are isolated and suspended in 50 micromolar calcium chloride. So this is allowed for incubation for 12 to 24 hours. After incubation, you have to add your recombinant DNA. Now all the cells are plated on a suitable growth medium and they are screened for the transformed cells. So I have told the process of screening method in the previous classes. If you are using a vector, then you can screen the bacterial cells by antibiotic resistant markers like ampicillin, tetracycline, etc. So 50 micromolar calcium chloride vector plus bacterial cells are incubated in a medium liquid broth, and then these bacterial cells are inoculated onto a solid medium containing the antibiotic. And those bacterial cells which contain the transformed, that means which contain the transgene or foreign DNA only, will be surviving on the antibiotic resistance medium and that are selected. This is how you will transform your bacterial cells with your transgene with the help of calcium chloride. The other method is silicon carbide whiskers. So silicon carbide whiskers are fine whiskers made of silicon carbide. They will puncture the plasma membranes, and during this process of puncturing, the foreign DNA is introduced into the target cells. So this is how you transfer your gene with the help of silicon carbide whiskers. So you can see in that diagram, a test tube containing whiskers and your foreign DNA along with your target cells has been taken, and continuously this test tube will be agitated. During the process of agitation, the foreign DNA with the help of whiskers will enter into your target cells. So plant materials like callus, embryos are used for the process of silicon carbide mediated gene transfer, where they are incubated with silicon carbide along with your foreign DNA and then vortexed such that your foreign DNA will enter into the callus or embryo derived callus or cell suspension cultures. So then what will be the whisker size and diameter? The diameter will be around 0.3 to 0.3 micrometer and a length of 10 to 100 micrometer. So the principle, as I told, they will form punctures or penetrate the plasma membrane, allowing your foreign DNA into the cells. This method appears to be widely applicable and most rapid and inexpensive method for integration of your foreign DNA into the target cells. So that is silicon carbide mediated gene transfer. The next one is liposome mediated gene transfer. So liposome is a lipid bilayer, is a round particle where you can see in the diagram, in which your DNA fragments are loaded. And now these liposomes are incubated with your target cells, especially plant, animal or bacterial cells, where the liposomes will fuse with the plasma membrane and they release your DNA fragments or transgene into the cells. So that is liposome mediated gene transfer. So this is the principle. DNA and liposome. So this is a Lipofex, a reagent which contains liposomes. It is mixed with your foreign DNA to be transferred into the cell. Then the Lipoflex will take your DNA and they will enter into the cells. And a Lipoflex, you can clearly see, contains two coats, a top coat and a interior coat. The top coat will mix with the lysosomes and it will be degraded. So whenever liposomes are introduced into the cells, there is a chance of mixing with lysosomes and degradation into the lysosomes. This is prevented by the Lipoflex, which contains two coats. One coat will combine with the lysosome, the other coat will combine with the nucleus, such that transferring the DNA into the nucleus, where it can penetrate into your, or it will segregate into your chromosomes. So this is how you use liposomes or lipoflex for transfer of your foreign DNA into the animal cells, bacterial or plant cells. So the main advantage of these liposomes is it is very simple. Just mix your DNA to be transferred with liposomes and then incubate with your plant or animal or bacterial cell. So that much simple it is. Long-term stability and the toxicity is very less. And you can also prevent the degradation of nucleic acid, which I have mentioned in the previous slide. So these are the advantages of the liposome mediated gene transfer. So the next one is electroporation. Is another process used to transfer your foreign DNA into host cells. This mechanism uses electric shocks where the new DNA or foreign DNA is introduced into host cell by creating pores in the plasma membrane. Once the DNA enters into the cell, it will be integrated into the genome. So by using electric shock, you create pores and you transfer your foreign DNA into the cells. This is the principle behind the electroporation. So this is the diagram which shows the method of electroporation. So this is the normal cell, bacterial cell. When you give an electric field application, it forms pores on the bacterial membranes. So you can clearly see the pores that are formed on the bacterial membranes. Then your foreign DNA or vector containing foreign DNA will be entering into the bacterial cell with the help of these pores. So you are using electric shocks to make pores into the biological plasma membrane where your foreign DNA will be taken into the cell. The disadvantage of this method is the electric shock treatment should be given at very less and ambient temperatures and ambient conditions. Otherwise, there is a chance of death of the host cells. So that is how you use the transfer of plasmids by using electric field. So the next one is sonoporation. So this is same as principle of electroporation, but here you use ascotic sounds, that means ascotic sound waves to make pores into the plasma membrane. So ascotic waves are used, that means ultrasonic waves. A low frequency ultrasonic waves are used to make the plasma membrane permeable to your foreign DNA. So that is sonoporation. So you can see the sonoporator where your test tube is placed. The test tubes contain the target cells, your foreign DNA, etc. And sonoporator is operated with a low frequency such that, like electroporation, your foreign DNA will be entering into the cell with the help of this sound waves. That is sonoporation. So the next one is polyethylene glycol mediated gene transfer. So this is especially used for protoplast fusion, plant cells in suspension cultures, or plant cells lacking cell walls are called as protoplasts. They are fused with the help of calcium and polyethylene glycol. The polyethylene glycol and calcium together destabilize the plasma membrane of the plant chloroplast and make it permeable to the foreign DNA. So the foreign DNA can easily enter into the cell. So you use polyethylene glycol and calcium to make pores into the plasma membrane such that your foreign DNA will enter into the plant or plant protoplast. So this is how you transfer your foreign DNA into protoplast. So the next one is biological method. In the previous classes we have seen the TI plasmid, tumor inducing plasmid of Agrobacterium tumefaciens, which contains tumor inducing genes in between left and right borders. That is removed and your foreign DNA is introduced into this between left and right borders, and this TA plasmid is introduced into Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Now these Agrobacterium tumefaciens will infect the plant cell, especially dicot cells, and transfer this TI plasmid, and TI plasmid with its left and right border sequences and with the help of virulence genes will introduce your foreign DNA that is present in between left and right border into the plant genome, and it is stably incorporated. So since you are using an Agrobacterium tumefaciens, a biological agent, for transferring your TI plasmid containing foreign DNA, it is called as biological method of gene transfer. So you can see in the diagram, A is showing crown gall disease caused by Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and TI plasmid containing your foreign DNA is introduced into Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Then after infection, the TI plasmid containing foreign DNA, the foreign DNA is integrated stably into the plant genome where it is expressed. So that is by Agrobacterium mediated gene transfer method in plant cells. So these are the various gene transfer methods, direct and indirect methods or biological methods, which are used to transfer your foreign DNA into bacterial, plant and animal cells. So thank you very much for patiently listening the topic.